Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us this Tuesday at 10. I'm Jeanelle Slade.
And I'm Russ Riesinger. Flooding still hitting parts of our region and now even shutting down Cooney State Park.
Now, a press release tonight states a temporary emergency closure is in place for Cooney Park due to high waters. That release says flooding is widespread, affecting roadways, campsites, parking areas, and the boat launches.
The conditions are dangerous and pose a risk to public health and safety. There's no definitive timeline for reopening the park, but officials say that park will reopen when the water levels recede.
Over in the town of Ranchester, Wyoming, just south of the Montana state line, rising water has inundated this small town.
Yeah, this video shows high water covering roadways, even forcing the need for sand and sandbags to be made available to the community. Ranchester sits north of the Tongue River in 5 Mile Creek.
And here's a look from the skies above in Sheridan, Wyoming, where multiple inches of rain have swamped in the areas along the Big and Little Goose Creeks.
These are images from Tim Doolin Photography. Tim says his rain gauge has recorded 3 inches of rain in the last 48 hours. He also says he couldn't fly some of the worst hit areas due to the proximity to the airport there.
And now with more on the weather scene tonight, Chief Forecaster Bob McGuire monitoring things out there. Bob, the sun is going to help, but we still have quite a few issues out there.
Yeah, well, first, the good news is that the rain has finally stopped. Let me show you on the Doppler radar. Most of the rain has moved out of Montana and basically moved out of northern Wyoming, so that is some good news. But let me show you what's happening here. We still have a number of watches and warnings all over the state. Now, not so much because it's raining. We're adding to it. We've already had enough rain. The problem is the ground is very saturated. It's very soggy. And as you see there in Sheridan County, Wyoming, where you have the Tongue River, the Big and Little Goose Creeks, they're all just full right now, and they continue to create problems there. We've had so much rain there, all the way up towards Glacier National Park. Scattered rain showers there have produced all sorts of flooding in that region. So let me show you just how much rain we have had. Dayton, Wyoming, 4.23 inches of rainfall. Near Pompey's Pillar, 3.84 inches. Near Fort Smith, 3.79 inches. You notice all down around by the state line. Near Park City, 3.44. And Roundup, they had 2.82 inches of rain. And man, thank goodness it's finally stopped. But it looks like most of these rivers will take until maybe the weekend before they'll crest. We'll have the rest of your forecast in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Bob.
Well, this is the 4th worst month for tornadoes ever recorded, and that threat continues tonight with watches and warnings posted in at least half a dozen states from Oklahoma all the way up to New Jersey.
More than 500 tornadoes have been reported in May, 12 just yesterday. Now, since last week, at least 15 people have died.
Dean Reynolds has more on the tornado outbreak.
Tornado on the ground, wait for the power flashes.
One storm after another pummeled the nation's midsection, leaving a trail of despair, destruction, and at least one death from some 53 twisters that may have touched down across 8 states overnight.
The tornado just hit our house.
In Ohio and Indiana, winds up to 140 miles per hour ripped homes from their foundations, raised roofs, and toppled thousands of trees. A dollar store on the outskirts of Dayton now looks to be worth about 10 cents. On Woodhaven Street in the Northridge section of Dayton, we found John Barber, a resident here for 44 years.
I grabbed a flashlight. I knew he was going to the basement. And before we got out of the bedroom, the lights went out.
So I was basically in here.
Directly across the street, Jeremy Sutter surveyed what's left of the home he purchased just 5 months ago. You were basically in the hallway?
I had this mattress right here, covering everything. I had a blanket over us.
Most of those we spoke to have insurance, but it will be a very long time before they're back in this neighborhood. Where are you going to spend the night?
Back to my mom's garage. I'm a homeowner. Back to mom's garage. Gotta love it.
At least 130 people were injured in the widespread storms overnight, and unfortunately the weather forecast for here in Ohio and elsewhere is for more stormy weather tonight, tomorrow, and possibly even Thursday. Dean Reynolds, CBS News, Dayton, Ohio.
And back here at home, Republican Congressman Greg Gianforte is preparing to enter the 2020 race for Montana governor in his second attempt for the position.
Our chief political reporter Mike Dennison has more on this development and what it means for not only the governor's contest but also other races next year.
It's no secret that U.S. Representative Greg Gianforte has been thinking about getting into the 2020 Montana governor's race. But now we've learned he's telling fellow Republicans he plans to formally announce his candidacy soon, and that he's prepared to spend several $1 million of his personal wealth on the campaign. Gianforte's entrance would make a crowded GOP primary even more crowded. 3 other Republicans, Attorney General Tim Fox, State Senator Al Olszewski of Kalispell, and Secretary of State Corey Stapleton are already in the race. The governor's seat will be open next year because term limits prevent Governor Steve Bullock from running for a 3rd term. No Democrat has jumped into the governor's race yet, although Lieutenant Governor Mike Cooney and House Minority Leader Casey Schreiner of Great Falls are considering it. Gianforte's entry into the gubernatorial race also would open up the 2020 contest for his U.S. House seat. Democrat Kathleen Williams of Bozeman, who ran against Gianforte last year and lost, has already launched her 2020 campaign for the seat, and State Democratic Representative Tom Winter of Missoula is in the race too. Republican State Auditor Matt Rosendale also may consider the House race, and if he gets in, the auditor's seat would become open. Gianforte is the co-founder of a Bozeman software development firm that was sold in 2014 for $1.8 billion. He wouldn't comment directly Tuesday about his 2020 plans, but a spokesman said Gianforte has been getting encouragement from many Montanans about running for governor and that he'll announce a decision in the coming weeks. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
All right, thanks, Mike. Now, Gianforte lost the 2016 governor's race to Steve Bullock and has since twice won the election as congressman for Montana.
Well, nearly clipping the heels of his last visit, Governor Steve Bullock is back in Iowa tonight. The 2020 presidential candidate is on another whirlwind tour of the Hawkeye state in an attempt to win over voters in that key early caucus state. Starting early this morning in Mason City, he trekked across the state, ending in Polk County tonight, where he joined the Asian and Latino Coalition candidate reception. Bullock's latest trip to Iowa comes just days after Senator John Tester was asked if he would endorse his fellow Montanan for the presidency. Tester wouldn't say for now who he's endorsing, but says his announcement will come later this week.
A Memorial Day Highway Patrol arrest that you just could not make up. A 38-year-old naked, allegedly intoxicated driver is behind bars tonight after she led a Montana Highway Patrol officer on a pursuit just east of Billings yesterday. Lisa Christine Walter is being held on $25,000 bond tonight. Now, court records state just after 2 a.m. Monday, a trooper saw a gray sedan driving east on I-90 near the North 27th Street off-ramp. The vehicle, with no headlights on, was apparently swerving and drifting across the highway. The pursuit reached speeds of 90 to 100 miles per hour for about 3 miles, narrowly avoiding a crash. Now, once stopped, as the trooper approached her car with his weapon drawn, he saw Walter was not wearing any clothing. Now, Walter faces 5 charges, including a sexual assault charge for allegedly trying to grope the trooper during her arrest.
Well, the Miss Montana landed in England just before 8 a.m. Montana time today.
Now, the crew completed the journey from Montana across the U.S. and then the North Atlantic in just over a week.
Plane ran flawlessly. Crew worked well together, and weather cooperated after an initial hiccup there getting out of Connecticut. But yeah, it's just sort of surreal to think that after all this time, we made it here. So yeah, there's 11 other planes here, I think, and 3 or 4 more coming. So we're meeting the other crews and planning to go out and have an evening with some of the other crews tonight.
The crew finished the transatlantic crossing Monday, landing in Scotland after following the Blue Spruce route, the historic path which allowed the old planes during World War II, to make gas stops by fueling up in Greenland and Iceland.
Now, Douglas says it was great to finish the trip ahead of schedule after being the tail end Charlie of the historic group of planes, and says it would not have been possible without the financial and moral support back here in Montana.
We were probably had as much notoriety as anybody because of the heavy lift we had to get here, and so they were all thrilled. In fact, we got to the field, and the tower requested that we do a low flyby.
Next week, the restored plane and her sister aircraft will drop dozens of jumpers over the beach of Normandy.
It will commemorate the 75th anniversary of the paratroopers who were key to the 1944 D-Day invasion.
Well, coming up on tonight's 10 o'clock news, this Skyview teacher has been wishing students a happy summer for 35 years, and now they can wish him a happy retirement.
Let's check out this video of an avalanche on Going to the Sun Road. We're going to talk to a cyclist who was stranded by the slide.
And later in sports, we show you why Friday's annual Legion Against Cancer game has become much more meaningful for players.
You're watching MTN News with Jeanelle Slade and Russ Riesinger, Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire, and sports with Scott Breen. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.